Hello, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Don K. Preston. I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma. Going through my goodies that I got in the mail yesterday. Some new books. The Lost World of Adam and Eve by John Walton. The Lost World of Scripture by Walton and Brent Sanday. The Bridegroom Messiah and the People of God. Marriage, the marriage motif in the fourth gospel. Really looking forward to that one because of a book I'm working on. And A New Heaven and New Earth by Richard Middleton. He and I have corresponded some just recently. Anyway, welcome back. It's good to have you with me. Hope you are having a good Thursday morning. And we are looking at the eschatology of the parables of Jesus. We are currently involved in looking at Jesus' second parable, the parable of the wheat and the tares. What's very important for us to realize, I think, is the impact of Jesus' parables, not only the impact, but the integration of Jesus' teaching on eschatology in the parables and the rest of his non-parabolic teaching. For instance, in Matthew chapter 13, we have the prediction of the end of the age. Now, what is that end of the age? Jesus uses a very distinctive Greek word, suntelia ton aionion. And he talks about the coming of the Son of Man with the angels and the time of the gathering. And so we have these constituent elements. The end of the age, coming of the Son of Man, sending forth of the angels, and the gathering. Well, in Matthew chapter 24, as Jesus predicted the destruction of Jerusalem and the temple, the disciples asked him, well, tell us, when shall these things be? What shall be the sign of your coming and the end of the age? The suntelia ton aionion. Now, this is a very distinctive Greek term. It's not used tons of times in the Bible. It's used in Hebrews 9:26 to tell us that Jesus appeared at the end of the age. Well, he didn't appear at the end of time. He appeared at the end of the Old Covenant age. Jesus uses this identical term, this suntelia ton aionion, in Matthew 13 in some of the other parables. So, watch this. We have Jesus predicting the end of the age, suntelia ton aionion, at his coming with the sending of the angels and the gathering. In his prediction of the destruction of Jerusalem, the disciples automatically link that to what? To the end of the age, the suntelia ton aionion. And as Jesus answers their questions about his coming, he says, they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. He, Son of Man, shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather together the elect. And in verse 34 he said, verily I say unto you, this generation will by no means pass until all of these things are fulfilled. So we have incredible, perfect correlation, harmony, and unity between Matthew chapter 13 and Matthew 24. We have the use of a very distinctive Greek term, pardon me, suntelia ton aionion, the coming of the Son of Man, the sending forth of the angels, and the time of the gathering which is the harvest gathering. And Jesus tells us that was going to be in his generation. You see, this is perfect unity. It's perfect harmony. How would one go about determining, oh, well, yeah, Matthew 13, that's the end of the real world. That's the end of time. That's the end of the Christian age. That's the suntelia ton aionion. But over here in Matthew chapter 24, even though, yes, Jesus is talking about the time of the end of the age, and even though he's talking about his coming, and even though he's talking about the sending forth of the angels, and even though, yes, he's talking about the time of the gathering, well, there he says it was going to be in his generation, and that has to be AD 70, but Matthew 13 isn't. Really? What's the principle? Where's the hermeneutical justification? See, that's just eisegesis. That's just presuppositional theology that is attempting desperately to hang on to a futurist eschatology. You know, I've got so much more on the parables and the eschatology of the parables in my 32-lesson series on the parables of Jesus and the eschatology of the parables of Jesus in the 2006 Preterist Pilgrim Weekend. Go to my website, eschatology.org, BibleProphecy.com, order one or both, and I'll refund your shipping. Save you $5, or if you order both, that'll save you $10. All right? You really, really need to get a copy of this material. I've had people who have ordered the material already tell me, boy, this teaching has really, really opened my eyes. You really want this material. Well, thanks so much for joining me for this morning's Morning Musings. Thanks again. We appreciate it so very much. Lord willing, we'll see you on Monday.